Good afternoon, folks, and welcome to the Trade Exchange Knowledge is Power webinar. A reminder, we are being recorded, so if you do need to leave a bit early, no problem, we'll have this posted. But we did want to welcome everyone to our webinar. We are the Trade Exchange Analyst Desk along with Zozo Trader, so he will be speaking in a bit as well. So again, just a quick sound check, make sure everybody can hear us. If you're not, just let us know, and we'll jump right into the webinar. So folks, the reason why we wanted to have this webinar is we frequently get questions on, what we do, why is what we do critical to traders, and how it impacts overall trading, any trading methodology, and why our existing subscribers and our growing subscriber base understands that this information is absolutely critical to have and understand on a day-to-day basis. So as we jump into the webinar here, some really common industry knowledge here that information is important and absolutely critical. So that is very common in the industry, that information is important. The second, and probably even more common around the industry, no matter whether you're sitting on a desk or perhaps you're on your own trading and your own personal account or for a firm, is really the maximization of profit, and that's really critical as well. And really, we understand that the entrepreneurial spirit exists among everyone, exists in the trade exchange, and really exists among traders as well. So why the trade exchange, and why is our idea really taking hold and really important for a trader? So number one, there's just too much information out there. It's quite a bit of change from what it was in terms of the amount of information out there. Certainly 15 years ago was not enough information. Now it's almost too much information. And so our job is to provide really meaningful information, because really, candidly, most of the information out there is absolutely meaningless. And is to make the information meaningful, direct, provide our subscribers actionable, high priority information throughout the day. So as we go through this, and folks, just a quick thing, if you have any questions, definitely let us know. Pop in a question should you have any questions. We'd be more than happy to answer them. So just a very, very brief background on the Trade Exchange. We've been around for about 2 years. The News and Analyst Desk is comprised of folks that have been a part of capital markets for decades. This includes our analysts at the Trade Exchange, our contributors, and it's really our commitment to providing this consistent information, providing the service to our subscribers consistently. So as we move through this, again, folks, any questions, we'll be certainly glad to answer any questions that you may have. So really, one of the main things that sets us apart from a lot of other services is how we start our day. We typically begin at the Trade Exchange. Traders typically begin very early, and as do we. And so it's really analytic actions in the morning, and you get this information from the forum, the Squawk, the morning mashup. We'll show you that in a moment. You get information from merger and risk arbitrage information. We provide that through merger brief and morning mashup. Obviously, overnight insider transactions and company filings. Top overnight and early morning headlines is one of our contributors. EGN, early global news. Any analyst meetings and conferences certainly posted into the forum and mashup as well. Your economic calendar, we'll go through those links as well. And really syndicate information, and this is what traders use on a daily basis. So we provide that information. We know that it's absolutely critical. So in the morning routine, if you're a subscriber to the Trade Exchange, certainly information is provided to you every day in the forum. We typically start somewhere between 5:45 a.m. and 6 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Obviously, these links that you see on your presentation here, whether it's the morning matchup, you can click on them. It'll pop up right up on your computer. EGN, Early Global News. Definitely be aware what happens, what's going on in the calendar. Certainly, we update you in the forum, but a great resource is the Universal Calendar on the Trade Exchange. And obviously, if you're new to the Trade Exchange, certainly we're up for any question that you may have during this presentation. Obviously, you have links for the Trade Exchange forum, Squawk Audio, and Market Stream or Feed. So why is news important? So, and let's dive into this a little bit. So individual news items and how it impacts. So over the years, certainly traders understood that individual news items, no matter what kind of trader you are, whether it's technical or algorithmic or quantitative, maybe you're just maybe you follow news all the time and information, how it impacts. So individual news items impact the stock. It impacts volatility. It impacts price action, volume, and certainly degree varies to how it impacts that particular name, and severity, obviously, in volatility, price action, volume. Certainly, it impacts on technical levels, whether on breakouts, testing of resistance, and support. So the types of information that we provide option-based information, whether it's large blocks, unusual activity, also sweeps. Certainly this type of information, traders understand that it impacts the underlying security, and that's why we provide this information. Insider transactions, form filings. Today we heard on the news, obviously, some years back, Wells Fargo selling CEO selling shares, certainly impacting, again, making news. You see purchases by insiders, whether it's a director, 10% holders of particular names, really important. Also company filings, whether there's a 13G, 13D amendments to certain filings by larger funds, that does have impact on securities as well. And we'll get into some examples in just a few moments. Also, social media-based information, isolated information. So there's a huge amount of information out there. We understand that. And one of the things that we have on our end is proprietary information that is able to make sense of things. So we've understood that it's isolated information that impacts particular stocks based on social media, and more macro information. We want to make sure that information is meaningful. And certainly a word on mentality of social media. Typically, again, it's isolated information. By the time it gets into social media, the move may be already done in the particular name. Also, we provide global economic news. So real-time access to U.S. and global economic information. That comes throughout the day, whether it's in the morning, midday, or afternoon. Certainly we provide that information. Certainly world news as it impacts markets, not just the U.S., but certainly global news impacts, whether it's futures or specific indices. We provide that type of information. So a bit more, certainly we touched on futures, commodities, and currencies. We're providing technical levels, volatility alerts, and now before we get into Zozo and the type of information he provides, so we do provide there's Zozo level watch alerts throughout the day. Also, we have a contributor, Human Black Box, that provides algo technical levels on a daily basis. So from the Trade Exchange portal, certainly you have access to your forum, Squawk Audio feed, Market Stream. There's certainly less noise. So if you're a bit overwhelmed by the amount of information out there, a great resource with the Trade Exchange in really streamlining the information that you see on a daily basis. We have our own thousands of sources that we source, and making sure the environment is clean. And obviously our contributors are industry leading contributors. They've been a part of capital markets for literally decades. We also, you can access any of our information using PC, laptop, Macs, tablets, smartphones, easy access, fast access, and we make sure that is convenient for you and easily accessible. So a couple of things new that are going on at the Trade Exchange, working on independent research for you with third-party contributors. It includes technical research, fundamental research, both long-term and short-term trade ideas. Additionally, if you click on the independent research, it'll bring you to the independent research page. Additionally, on the TX EDU, it's a new platform that we're building on the Trade Exchange site. It just provides you nice research items, very non-biased information with respect to certain economic activity, or something that perhaps it's a video on VWAP or understanding charts a bit more. Again, it's a great resource for that. Again, if there's any particular questions, folks, feel free to reach out to us. Also, we have a podcast where we are on iTunes. We're working on a contributor series, topical conversations. We're both on iTunes and SoundCloud, so definitely check that out. Also, you'll see if you are a subscriber to the Trade Exchange, we have been creating a PDF with Trade Exchange. We have been creating a PDF with Market Wrap-Up. And that is just a nice compilation of what happens during the day with the Trade Exchange, all types of information. Nice round out in terms of the market, in terms of the next day's calendar events, and any research reference items that perhaps it's a nice light reading for you. That includes merger and risk arb recap as well. So these links, you can click on that both on podcast and Market Wrap-Up to take a look what that looks like on a daily basis. So the one that link there is a fresh Market Wrap-Up of today's Market Wrap-Up. So very quick, those of you who had the chance, check out our mobile app. The response has been rather positive. And everything you can access from a desktop, you can access from the mobile app. And again, we're continuously updating the app. And if certainly we always receive feedback and we expect feedback. Certainly feel free to reach out to us should you have any feedback on the mobile app or anything that we discuss here. So these are the links here. Depends on whether you're an Android user or an iPhone user. Any of these particular icons you can click on and go ahead and install that app on your particular device, and it'll work for you beautifully. Any questions, comments, certainly we looking forward to hearing that. So we wanted to really jump into, and before we jump into specific examples, are there any questions so far from folks that are listening? A reminder, we are being recorded, so just in case you do need to leave earlier, certainly feel free to understand that it is being recorded. We'll have that posted for you as well. I'll take a brief moment, see if there's any questions, and we'll certainly answer them for you. So taking a look here at your screen, one of the things that these is, thank you very much, great. So if you take a look here at your screen here, this is today's information. So what you see here at 12:27 p.m. again, all times are Eastern. About 10 hedge funds said to have cut Deutsche Bank exposure. This is critical here, folks. This is the type of information that the trade exchange portal provides, whether it's the analyst desk, whether it's our contributors. You see here the arrow pointing to 1227 and the impact the particular news has on a particular equity. And you can see just a cliff in Deutsche Bank here following the 1227. Continued conversation. You see 10 minutes later hitting the CNBC News, and you see what an impact 10 minutes can have. You see the volume ticking up and obviously price action on the downside and that impact on the actual security. Okay, taking a look at also today at 11:15 a.m. again Eastern Time on RH, takeover chatter circulating, unconfirmed. You have Restoration Hardware at 11:15. You see the arrow pointing, and you see the impact that information has, whether it's an option-based or a particular information is being circulated around desks. You see the impact that it has on a particular security. So that's 11:15 a.m. Literally a minute later, talk that WSM is nearing a deal for RH in the 40s per share. So again, that's a minute later, and you see that impact on the security. We'll take a look at 1249 ARTX positive notes circulating from Money Map Press. Typically, we see this. You'll see this type of information in addition to options, in addition to insider transactions within the forum. You see this type of information consistently with the trade exchange. We're unique in that we do have certain algos in place that can detect this type of information, and ARTX positive note coming, and again, this is all today, folks, coming from Money Press. You see the impact on the security. You see the arrow pointing at 1249. Again, you see a kick up in volume, a kick up in price action, this type of information as it's being circulated around throughout desks and so forth. Again, in ARTX, dramatized the type of impact information has on specific equities, stocks, and why traders need this type of information. We'll take a look at SVU. This is a nice combination of volume activity at 10:55 in the morning. You see a rather significant volume pop. You see rather significant price action in October. You see activity in the October 4.5 call activity, over 1,300 contract block at 35 cents on the offer, expiring in October. A minute later, SVU, Onyx Corp, and lead to acquire Save-A-Lot Biz circulating. Again, nice combination of both option and information. This is something that traders absolutely treasure, to have this type of information on a daily basis. And we want to bring up something. You may have seen it, obviously, if you're a subscriber to the Trade Exchange, you've seen this at 10:12 a.m. An article that was beginning to be circulated in Apple. Yep, the iPhone 7 is exploding, excuse me, with the link there. And you see the impact on the security and how traders perceive this type of information. I think that's a really critical point here as we go through these presentations and as we go through this. And again, folks, keep in mind, this is today's information. This is the type of information that we provide on a daily basis. Okay, so we want to take a few minutes before we get into Zozo Traders points on trading, and is there any questions that we may answer before we dive into Zozo Trader? Just take a few seconds if anyone has any particular questions. Great. So Zozo Trader, if you have let's just make sure folks can hear Zozo Trader before he dives into the presentation.
Okay, thanks, George. Mic check, if everybody can hear me. My name is Mike, and I'm doing a mic check for the Trade Exchange webinar. Anybody hear me? All right. Hey, Daniel. Thank you. All right, so sit back. My portion of the webinar is going to be about 3 hours. No, I'm just kidding. We're going to do just a quick read through here. All right, and but in the future, because we all want to become better traders, I will be doing some webinars for the Trade Exchange, and you know, that'll be more, I guess, intense and a little bit longer. But just some stuff I want to talk about real fast. Some tips, right? If you're a trader, swing trader, day trader, whatever kind of trader you are, have a max loss per trade. Okay, so that's very important. Have a max loss per trade. Have a max loss per day. Never turn a winning trade into a losing trade. All right, easy to say, not always hard to do because our emotions get in the way, right? Never turn a winning day into a losing day. You know, you're up, you know, $500 for the day or whatever number you're up, and you say, I want to make $550 for the day, and then you end up giving it all back, and you know, you're stuck. All right, so if you can do these 3 things, all right, I will say that your trading and your results will improve dramatically. All right, if you do 1, 2, and 3, your trading will improve. All right, keep that ego in check. I don't believe in daily goals. All right, my goal each day is to trade well. I try not to look at my P&L during a trade. I'm watching the chart intensely. Okay. George, if you can go to the next slide. Hello, George? Okay, thank you. Okay, what I like to keep on my charts, and this is a 5-minute chart, okay, and I'll show you that chart in a second. It'll be in the next slide, is an 8 EMA, a 15 EMA, 20 EMA, 60 EMA, 200 EMA, 200 SMA, VWAP, and pivot points. All right, so just, you know what the EMAs are, right? Those are moving averages. VWAP is volume weighted average price. Now, if you go to that site that George showed you, the EDU site, the Trade Exchange, there are quite a few videos that I've made. One is on VWAP, one is on my chart settings. So if you want to watch those videos, you can get some more in-depth information on that. But these are just the basic things. Why do I like pivot points? I like pivot points because they're close to Fibonacci settings. They're not exact, but during my day I do not have time to draw Fibonacci lines on my charts. Okay, it just takes too long. It's too cumbersome. So I went with pivot points. They're pretty close. They may be off by a few cents here and there, but they're very close. George, if you can go to the next slide. And this will show a sample of the chart. Okay, this is a 5-minute chart, and it's just ULTA, no particular reason, but just to show you. Now, the chart that this service is TC2000, and we always have to say this. I don't get any you know, money for saying to use TC2000. You can use anything you like. All right, I just happen to like TC2000. And it happens to be probably their lowest cost membership. It's a gold membership with real-time everything. All right. The 5-minute chart is probably my favorite chart. Although when we first open up in the morning, I use a 2-minute chart, which I'm not showing here. with pre-market and after-hours information on it on a 2-minute chart. All right, but on this chart you can see there's pivot points, there's the moving averages, and once again this is a 5-minute chart. All right, so I just wanted to show you the chart that I use, and in the afternoon mostly, like after say around 10:15 or so, I'll probably switch over to my 5-minute charts. All right, just because they take away a little bit of the noise and they're a little easier to read, and then I move into my moving averages and pivot points. And the reason I don't put a lot of stuff on my 2-minute chart in the morning is because I don't believe in a lot of moving averages early when the market just opens up, because not all the math has been done yet. So I just watch levels when the market first opens up. I watch price action and levels in the pre-market, and I watch it when the market opens up. And then around 10:15, start to switch over to my moving averages. George, you can go to the next chart. And basically, guys, just going to run through some charts of some level alerts, okay, that I called. This was a ARRY over 492, and this is on a 5-minute chart, okay, and it moved up to 578. So most of the time I get my trades from the news, but I don't get them exactly that moment when the news comes out. But what the news is good for, and what the information in trade exchange is good for, is because it puts that stock on my radar. It may not be for that exact moment. It could be for the next day, or it could be in the next hour or the next 10 minutes. And that's why you need a news service that's watching social media, that's watching the options action, that's watching the company news for you, because scanners are great, okay, but they put thousands of stocks on when they're scanning, and they put them on your watch. But I like something that is in play and has news, and there's some kind of story behind it also, not just off of scanners. I do use scanners, okay? We use, the most popular name in scanners. You all guys know the name. And we do put in volume alerts in the room also. If we see something moving on my scanner, I will put it in the room to let you guys know. So that's another function of trade exchange that I don't think George mentioned, but he saved that one for me. So we are scanning for you too. And here it was, like I said, ARRY, it had news, it was in play, it gets back above the VBOP, it gets back above my alert here, and it was off to the races. Next slide, George. And we'll just go through these quick, because I'm not trying to be braggadocious. I'm just saying that we give you opportunities in trade exchange, and if you're alert and you can take advantage of them, you can make some good money. Let's not, that's what this is all about, right? People want to make money, they want to be informed, sure, but we want to make money. Another one was CHMA over 293. Stock went up, I think, even beyond $3.10, and so that was another one that we called. Now, all of these now, which is another new feature in Trade Exchange, are being voice alerted, okay? I'll get on and say, level watch alert, CATB over 552. And then one of the guys will put it on our feed, so it's sound alerted. There's two kinds of alerts for these level watch alerts. All right, and here's CATB over 552. And I think this thing went up over $7 today. All right, and that's from today. All right, that's not from last week, 2 weeks ago. That's just this morning. All right, CATB, and that was voice alerted also. All right, that's it for my level alerts, and that's it for my portion of this webinar. But I truly believe that the Trade Exchange can help you. And definitely, don't feel like if you see something popping on the news, okay, don't just dismiss it like, okay, oh, I missed that, all right? What you do is you put it on your radar, and you may come back to it the next day, the next 10 minutes, the next hour, or there may be a pullback in the stock that allows you to get in, all right? But the thing is, you have 8 people, I believe it is right now, contributors watching the markets for you. We have JF in the room. He's looking at sectors, oil stocks, bank stocks. I mean, the guy is incredible. We have, was it Ghost, who looks for, you know, unconfirmed stories, but those rumors, you know, that really move stocks. So there is a lot of knowledge and a lot of people looking to help you at the trade exchange to give you opportunities, all right? So this is Zozo Trader, and if you have any questions, okay, you can always email me, and I'll put my email address in the room also, at Zozo Trader, okay, or you can email the guys at Trade Exchange, and then they'll pass it on to me. All right, and eventually we're going to get into a longer webinar with charts and all the different charts that I look at. And don't forget to look at that tradeexchange.edu webpage, and that will have videos on it also. All right. And then we have Mike said, is there a way to get volume on your mic louder during the day? The other vocal sound alerts, your mic is much lower than the others. Okay, so yes, I will work on that with George and with Milton. All right, and we will get the volume up on my microphone. Definitely, that's easy to solve. So that's all I have for right now. And back to George, and he'll take you on the way out. I hope you guys have taken my trades, and you know they've worked for you. And look forward to working with everybody in the future, and you know, getting you more opportunities. All right, have a great night, guys, and back to you, George.
Mike, thanks so much, Zozo. And so as you can see here, the impact of information on securities, stocks, options is immense. So you saw examples, whether it's option-based or information chatter. And the one thing everyone really has to ask themselves is what you would pay for if you were just to do this on your own, and all the different, whether it's feeds or different scanners that you would really need to put into your own way of looking at stocks. And our calculation, the reality is it's hundreds of dollars per month. On a regular monthly basis, our monthly subscription is $39.95. But because you're joining us today, we are a one-day special providing you with this particular webinar of 50% off. If you're not a subscriber to this trade exchange, for first month subscription, 50% off, and we're very glad to do it. Obviously, it's something that we are very passionate about, and providing this type of information, in giving you this type of information consistently, and making this actionable for you, making this meaningful for you and other traders as we continue to grow and make an impact on the market. So one of the things that we're going to type in is a coupon code, and the coupon code is webinar 50. So WEBINR 50. We'll put that into the general chat right now. And so what you do is, when you do check out webinar 50, so that is the checkout. When you're checking out at thetradeexchange.com, ask yourself what I would usually be paying on a monthly basis, and what's the value that the Trade Exchange is providing me on a daily basis. And the reality is, the value is immense, not just because of the Trade Exchange analyst. In addition to that, it's the contributors. In addition to that, it's all the information you're getting on a daily basis. And for this webinar, we're very happy to provide that for you. Typically $39.95, and so it includes the squawk, obviously. And for this webinar, for joining us, it's 50% off your first month subscription. And it is webinar 50. Certainly, if you have any questions on that, feel free to reach out to us. We are here in the office. Any issues with that, certainly. I'll pause just for a brief moment Thank you, Iceman. Thank you very much. Certainly, you know, we're growing well, and more and more people are beginning to know about us. More and more people are beginning to understand the impact of the trade exchange and the information that we provide on everyday information, everyday what traders see on a daily basis, whether it's traders sitting on a large desk or perhaps it's a trader in their own home. Folks need to be informed, and that's really the critical point of it. Maximization of profits is absolutely imperative, and obviously you're an entrepreneur, so you need the right information, the right tools to get the job done. So again, webinar 50 as the checkout for this particular special, again, just for the webinar. Is there any questions so far in any of the information that we've provided you? I'll take a brief moment. If there's not, we will certainly here on, we're available online, obviously, at thetradeexchange.com, email thetradeexchange@thetradeexchange.com, and phone at 203-939-1250. We do have our desk staffed constantly and available for you with any questions. So I'll just take another brief moment, see if there's any questions, and we will finish up with this webinar. Folks, thanks for joining us again. If you're new to the Trade Exchange or you haven't subscribed yet, again, webinar 50 as the promotional coupon to get the first month's 50% off. Great. So if there's no questions, folks, thank you so much for joining us. This has been the Trade Exchange Knowledge is Power webinar. Again, we are being recorded. Feel free to reach out to us with any questions. Wishing you a very pleasant evening, folks.